So today we are looking at a simple but effective way in which you can pure your iron shots. It's universal and something that everyone can do. And also something that everyone can do is subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. We are nearing 100,000 followers here on YouTube, and it would be great if you could push us over the line. So for this video, I have teamed up with my very good friends over at Hack Motion. This is a golf swing analyzer which monitors wrist motion and by extension helps us understand what is happening with club face at the point of impact. It's a fantastic device. If you want more information, head down into the description below. I've also got another fantastic piece of equipment here that can also help you out. So one key to creating a pure iron strike is to understand where the club face, I thought I'd done it there, is pointing at impact. That is because if the club face is misaligned at impact, the golfer will react around that. For example, if the club face is pointing out to the right-hand side of the target, a right-handed player will often bring the club more over the top in an attempt to square up that club face to impact. Or for example, if a player comes through impact and the wrist is too extended or cupped in this position, this also will affect how the club face aims and often leads to a scooping action through the point of impact. Simply put, we want to try and remove as many unnecessary movements as possible from impact so we can just get that club face squarer. Simplify the movement and we make a solid impact much more likely. At impact with the irons, we want the weight to be transferring onto the lead side with the chest covering the ball at impact. The hands will be leading the club and the strike onto the ball should be descending. To make this all possible, golfers need this club face to be pointing fairly square down to their intended target at impact. As mentioned, if it's closed or if it's open, the whole swing needs to adapt to try and get the ball back to target. Now a square club face all starts with a good grip. Now I'm going to link a video here which can explain a little bit more about this, but as a general guide. For a right-handed golfer, we want the grip to be in the base of the little finger, running through the middle of the hand until it exits the middle of the index. The hand wraps over and you want to be seeing 2.5 to 3 knuckles on the top hand. This V created by the index finger and the thumb, you want it to be pointing up towards the right shoulder. As the bottom hand goes on, the right hand for a right-handed golfer, it can interlock, it can be 10-fingered, it can be an overlap, which is my preferred grip. This just links the hands together, makes them a cohesive unit. And as the right hand for a right-handed golfer sits on top of the left, we just want the thumb to be sat in the lifeline of the right hand. That wraps over, then the V created by the thumb and the forefinger on the right hand points up towards the right chest. This is generally considered a neutral grip, but as mentioned, it can vary from golfer to golfer. Check this video out or make sure you get a lesson on this vital part of the technique. Now in this video, we're focusing on the backswing because it's this part of the swing which is more controllable and more measurable. We're getting things set up in the backswing to make sure that the impact is more simple. As mentioned, we're trying to cut out unnecessary movements to make the impact more controllable. So what we want to see is a nice neutral position within the lead wrist, and using Hack Motion I can actually train myself to do this with static drills. So I'm going to get myself set up as normal. I'm going to take the club away and I just want to see a nice neutral position at the top. So it's always going to be a little bit extended in the wrist angle at setup because of how you drop the club behind the ball, but as it moves up we want to try and get it in a nice flat position. And using this drill and using Hack Motion, you get these nice little audio cues to let you know if you're within the range of acceptability, which is not the official title, but that's what I like to think of it as. Just there. If we're too extended, so you can see the plus number here, that means that the wrist is moving over here. It's cupped, club face will be open. If it goes too much the other way, too flexed, a bit bowed and a bit closed. In the middle, that's where we get that nice square club face. So what we're doing with this static training is understanding where the club face is throughout the swing. If we can get it nicely matched up to the wrist and the arm in a good neutral position, coming down, we should again be able to return it in a much more neutral manner. If you can do this, then you won't have to make any crazy adaptations because club face is going to be square to where you're aiming. I've got a squash racket here. Now you can do this drill with a tennis racket, a badminton racket. All you need is something with a large face which sits nice and flush to the vertical angle of the instrument. Because you can imagine this as a zero lofted club. This is the leading edge. It's going to give you a very accurate indication of what is happening to wrist angle and what is happening to club face. So using this drill in conjunction with hack motion, fantastic. But you can also use this in conjunction with a mirror, with a video camera, just something which is going to give you the feedback. So I'm going to get myself set up once more. And because the racket face is so big, I can really get a good indication where it's at every point in the swing. And it just allows you a much more visual representation of what is happening to the arm, to the wrist, and to the club face. So once you've done the drills and you've figured out where that club face is pointing and you've used the racket, that nice square face, to understand wrist angle and how that relates to the lead forearm, we can start then moving it onto your impact drills. And this is what's going to build the bridge between your drill and then your actual shots. And it's really simple. We're not going to be having full swings. We're going to be hitting punch shots, little half shots, because it links in what we've just done with our practice. Very simply put, we're going to get ourselves set up. We're going to swing it to just after halfway, try and match the leading edge with spine angle, square up the club face coming through. We're feeling the weight left. We're feeling our chest covering the ball, and then just a little swing through. Just hold that finish position. So what we're looking for here is that. What that's shown is impact. I'm in range, good wrist position. I've struck the ball, struck the turf, and then the ball flight has come out nice and straight because I didn't have to make any adaptations. The club face was square, so I didn't have to twist my body in a weird way. I could give that descending angle of attack. I could move my weight left and not have to worry about the ball going crazy offline. And then finally, we move it onto the full swing. So the stages that we've done here is a static drill. We're not hitting any shots. We're just checking club face. We're checking wrist angles. We're checking everything to try and make sure that impact is simple. Then we're moving on to these little half swings, just making sure our impact and our practice is paying dividends. And then once you're comfortable, you're seeing a straight ball flight, you're seeing a ball first and turf impact, we then move it onto the full swings. And the first few swings that you have with this, just take it slow. Try and get the feelings that you've had in your practice and just move it onto a full swing. And we just want to be seeing that ball take off nice and straight. Mr. Bunker, take that, definitely take that. And then it's a case of repeating. Practice the static drills, move it onto a short swing, move it onto a full swing, but always understand wrist, arm, club face. Keep checking these. We don't want them out of alignment. We want to make impacts as simple as possible because that is what's going to give you the consistent results. Big thank you to Hack Motion for partnering up with the channel. And if you do want to check out more Swing Quest videos, click these links here.